Hello, welcome to Modesty Real Estate. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you something very important about title documents. My name is Emeke Modesty Obiazeko from Modesty Real Estate Ltd, your home of real estate services and investment. As shared in the previous video, in the part 1 of this video, how that in buying a property, the document is as important as the property. So if you have not watched that video, do well to go back and watch the video. I'm going to post the link of the video in this video. So when you check the comment section, you will see the link. So you want to acquire a property, you must understand that the document is as important as the property. The piece of paper or papers that you'll be using to document the property is as important as the land. So never buy a property overlooking the document, and never buy a property without doing the proper document of the property. So what is a title document? As we explained earlier, is a document that confers ownership on a particular ownership of a property on a particular person, or transfers ownership from one person to the other. And one of the key things we explained was the fact that never buy a property that the seller does not have the right to sell the property. What is the right to sell the property? Watch the previous video. But in this particular video, I'm going to be sharing with you on what is called acquisition, gazette, and acquisition process. Acquisition, gazette, and acquisition process. These are terms that you'll be used to, that you should be used to when it comes to land titles. Have you ever seen scenarios whereby people buy properties, after some years you see that the properties are destroyed, and you hear people say things like government land? That is a government land, or those are government properties built on government land. Have you ever thought about it, the kind of loss they go through? All right, and you won't want to go through such a loss, right? That is why I'm making this video, to educate you, to ensure that you don't fall for such losses, knowing fully well that the loss that come with properties does not always come immediately. It can be 5 years, 10 years after. It can even be 20 years after. So watch out to the key things I will explain in this video. Now, there is what is called acquisition. When the land is under acquisition, it means that the land belongs to the government. First of all, according to the Land Use Act of 1978, all lands belong to government. All lands belong to government. All lands in a state, the ownership of that land is conferred on the state with the governor. So, and the governor now have the right to give the land. Okay, so all lands belongs to the government according to the Land Use Act. So what is land acquisition? What is land acquisition? When we say a property is under acquisition, what does it mean? That means that the government has indicated interest in using that particular land. So a land is under acquisition when the government has indicated interest in using the land. We already know that all land belongs to the government, so they have the right to use every land, except they have given an individual the right of occupancy, or through the issuance of certificate of occupancy or other registered titles. All right, so now there are two kinds of acquisition. We have the global acquisition and the committed acquisition. What is the committed acquisition? That is when the government has already stated specifically what a particular land will be used for. They have indicated interest on the land, and they've stated specifically what the land will be used for. For instance, you see some lands that they say they want to build a federal highway there, they want to construct a project there, and that may not take place in the next 5-10 years. But we now say that land is under acquisition. That means that the government has indicated interest in that land, and of course they've stated what they want to use it for. Then general acquisition is when the government just showed interest on the land, but we don't really know whether the government will use the land or not. So there is general interest of the government on the land. So in that particular case, you now have to apply for what is called acquisition. Acquisition is when an individual, a community, chooses to remove a particular land from government ownership. You exit it from government ownership. We already know that all lands belong to the government. Let me explain this with a community. If in a community you have acres of land or hectares of land, and the Land Use Act already conferred that land to the government. Now the leaders of the community can choose to apply to the government to get like half of the hectares and ensure that the government can use the rest or assign anyone they will assign to the rest, while the other one will be exited to them, the leaders of the community. Now what they will do is that they will apply for what is called excision. They will apply for what is called excision. And this excision can take 1, 2, 3, 4 years. Sometimes the process can really be long. Pay attention to where we are going to. Now when this excision is applied for, it can take time before the government give their consent to either exit the property or not. Now where you come in as a land investor is that you shouldn't buy any property that has excision in progress. Excision in progress, that means that there is a tendency for the government to claim back the ownership if the excision is not granted. You shouldn't buy any property that has excision in progress, except you are buying from a reputable real estate company that has other properties or lands that they can swap that particular property for. In case the government comes for the land later, they can choose to give you another land, which of course the worth can be more than the current land that you bought, so you will need to pay in addition. Alright, so apart from that, it's not really advisable to buy a land that has excision in progress. So if you're buying a land, ensure that the land has already been exited if it has global acquisition. That is the only way you can that is the only way you should or you can buy the land. If it has committed acquisition, it's a no-no area, it's a no-go area. You shouldn't ever think of buying such land. You know why? Because you don't want to lose your money. And remember, we are here to guide you to the right real estate investment. So we won't want you to use your money to buy troubles or to buy a land and lose a huge sum of money, which may not be immediate. So now there's what is called gazette. The gazette is a document that contains the details of all lands that has been exited. So when a land has been exited from global acquisition, there is a document that contains the details of that land, which is called a gazette. So if you visit the Ministry of Land for a particular state, you can see the gazette that contains the details of every land in that state. All right, and so it's a document that gives precise details about lands in a particular state, and the ones that have been exited and the ones that has committed acquisition. Hope you're learning something. All right, so as an investor, don't buy a property that is under acquisition. Committed acquisition, no. General acquisition should not be bought except you really trust the company or you want to take the risk. And you see a land that the title document you have there is excision in progress. So you check it, see that it's excision in progress, you know that it's not a good investment, or it's not a good land to invest your money in, except the condition I just gave, which is from a reputable company that can easily swap the land for you. Now, how do you get all these details? In the previous video, I told you that a survey is not a title document. It's not a title document, right? But a survey contains clear details about a particular land, right? The size of the land, the type of land, the size of the land, and if it's a registered survey, the details of the land, the location is registered with the Ministry of Land. So with a survey, you can make your inquiry about a land. So if you want to buy a land and the land has a registered survey, you can take the registered survey to Ministry of Land. With it, you can know whether the land is under acquisition or not. You can know whether the land is under acquisition or not. Just take it to the Ministry of Land or the General Surveyor's Office, that you get all the details. So it helps. But why a survey is not a title document is because a survey cannot confer ownership. A survey cannot confer or transfer ownership. All right, in the sense that if you have a survey, it does not mean that you own the land. It does not mean that you have proof of ownership that this particular land was transferred to you from an individual, from a company, or it was given to you directly from the government. So a survey is not a title document, but it's a very important document that shows the size of the land and other details about the location of the land. All right, so what have you learned in this video? What should you pay attention to? Don't buy any land that is under acquisition, and know that before you buy a land, ensure you know the size of the land. If the land doesn't have a registered survey or a survey yet, you can take your surveyor to the land and ensure that you know the accurate size of the land, know the boundaries of the land, to avoid boundary issues even after making your payment. We remain your best real estate blog, Modesty Real Estate Limited. When you think of the right investment, think of real estate. And when you think of real estate investment, think of Modesty Real Estate Limited. Here we guarantee your investment. Here we show you the right property to buy. Here we show you how you can be secured with your property investment. How that you don't need to be worried whether the property is under acquisition, whether it's global acquisition, whether it's general acquisition. How will you go to the Ministry of Land to do the land search? You don't need to worry with any of this. We take the stress off you. All you need to tell us is, let us know your budget, let us know your preferred location where you want to get the land in Ibadan and its environment, or Delta, Asaba, or Lagos. So when you state your preferred location, you state your budget, then you can go and sleep. We'll get the land for you, you make your payment, you sleep while your money work for you. So at your preferred time, you can reach out to us. We'll sell the land for you. That if you are doing land bank, if you are buying to resell. So we are your best blog when it comes to real estate investment. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe. Click the subscribe button in this video and turn on the notification so that you don't miss out from other key things that we share in this video. So if you check the link, the description of this video, you will see a link that will direct you to all our properties that we have done proper search on. Do well to click that link either on YouTube or on Telegram and check these properties and many other properties that are not stated there too, depend on what you want. Thank you for watching. See you again in subsequent videos.